Why is it that people want to medicate? I mean, why is it this? Why is it that we're told that if we don't agree with the way things are going, like if somehow our core is not aligned with what we perceive in reality, why are we told to change our thinking instead of attempt to change reality? To me, this is a vicious cycle. They want us to change our thinking to accept the things we cannot change when we can change the reality if we collectively, if we do it together. We can change this shit. It's a vicious cycle, like, where people are dissatisfied. Even successful capitalists, fully successful capitalists are dissatisfied, and they may not realize why on a deep level, because deep down inside they know that exploiting people who have less than you do so that you can have more than you need is intrinsically goes against the nature of the good nature of human beings. Yeah. So then we want to change the way we think, right? We want to change the way we think to be okay with this. But what if? And then after you change the way you change your thinking, you accept what you cannot change, and you do your best with what you got to work with, and still you're dissatisfied. That's how I find purpose in spreading knowledge or information that I come up in and reflecting that back out to the world. I found purpose in that, in this revolutionary way of thinking. Things are in a constant revolution. It's always in a revolution. Everything is always in a revolution. It just, you might not see it on the slow increments. You don't really recognize it. But for example, since 9/11, we've lost so many of our supposedly liberties and rights since 9/11. And why did that happen? I don't know, but I know that the United States has been trying to dominate the world for as long as I can think of the United States being alive. The United States is the whole point of the United States was to try and dominate the world, and sometimes you get backlash. I'm not saying anybody in those towers deserved to die that day. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying there's action and consequence. Anyway. And why is the United States trying to dominate the world? To concentrate more wealth. That's the fucked up part about it. The fucked up part about it is it's not to evenly distribute resources around the world. That's not the purpose of domination. The purpose of domination is to concentrate the resources into the power and control of very few. Anyway, so we know this, we know this deep down in our mind, but we think it's just the way it is. So we overlook it, that we become ignorant to it. We ignore it. We overlook it because we think that's just the way it is. And then then we're told to change our thinking. And also very easily we're given medication. They're happy to prescribe things to make you feel better about the way things are, to pacify us so that we don't try and change the way things are collectively as a goal for everybody to have a higher standard of living instead of just very few to have a higher standard of living. At the expense of people that have a lower standard of living. That's what this whole thing. It doesn't ring true to me. It rings completely oppressive and exploitative, something like that. Anyway, 4 minutes 45 seconds. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That is a very powerful prayer in my life when I need to stop for a second, have some patience, and try and assess a situation. That's a very good grounding technique for me. But I prefer the train of thought that tells me that I run on, which is there's very little that I accept that I can't actively work to change. And by living the principles that I live gives me courage to attempt to change things, and I gain wisdom in my attempts. Like if it doesn't work, then I try something else. The reason I say that instead of the serenity prayer when it comes time for action is because the mindset of healing is and recovery is an active change in attitudes, ideas, and behaviors. So if it's not working, you try something else. You know what I'm saying? If it's not working, you try something else until you find what's working. So with that being said, peace and power to the people. This is a gutter poppy revolution, man. This is about something that's been confined in a decaying state, and helping it to thrive, like helping that thing grow and thrive. That's what this revolution is all about. That's what this gutter poppy revolution is about. We want the working class. We want the people who are producing the profit, who are actually creating the profit, to share bountifully and benefit equally as anybody else. Peace and power to the people.